Hello, everyone, and welcome to So You Want to Attend Graduate School. And I am Doug Waddell, Assistant to the Dean and Director of Graduate Recruitment for the College of Human Science and Education. I am so excited today because we have Dr. Gary Gintner here, and Doc is going to be talking about our counseling program, our master's program, as well as our graduate program in counseling, as well as we have Kayla Clancy. So we are so excited to have you here, Doc. I'm going to let you take it from here.
Okay, thank you so much, Doug. Again, I'm Gary Gintner. I'm the program leader for the counseling program here at LSU. And my co-presenter is Kayla Clancy, who is a third-year student in our clinical mental health counseling program. And I'm going to start off by giving you a brief overview of the program. And then I'm going to turn it over to Kayla, and she's going to talk about what attracted her to our program and what it's been like to be in the program, and a little bit about what it was like to be at a field placement and seeing clients. So I'm going to pull up a little overview of the program.
Wonderful.
So our master's program is a 60-hour program. It takes 3 full years to complete. And there are 2 concentrations. One is a concentration in school counseling that prepares you to be a certified school counselor in the school system. And the other is a concentration in clinical mental health counseling that prepares you to do mental health counseling and meets the academic requirements to become a licensed professional counselor in the state of Louisiana. Okay. In terms of the coursework, there's a core set of classes that all the counseling students take, and then we have specializations in terms of both coursework and their field experiences for each of those concentrations. This is our mission, and in terms of some of our goals in the program, we have kind of 3 areas that we try to promote in a student's development. One is their knowledge and skills, in terms of counseling skills, for example. A second area is their professional development. We really want to have students who become leaders in the field, leaders in the state. And a third area is personal development, that going through the program and learning about the different areas of counseling and the theories, we also want that knowledge and those skills to be embraced by the student to promote their own personal development. What the research shows is that the mental health of the counselor is a significant contributing factor to overall outcome. So you'll see in the coursework, for example, a heavy emphasis on promoting skill development and knowledge, personal development. We'll have exercises where you reflect on yourself in terms of some of the topics, and then also professional development. I think our program has a number of strengths. We have an excellent student to faculty ratio. It's very, very high touch. We take in about 20 students a year. So it's a small program. And we have a lot of interaction with the students. There's also a National Student Honor Society called Chi Sigma Iota. And it provides opportunities for socializing, networking, doing service activities in the community, and also training opportunities. We have a nationally accredited program, which is very important, both in terms of certification and licensing. We have hands-on clinical training. There are 3 field experiences, 3 different courses that you will take And what's really nice about having 3 different courses like that is it'll expose you to some different sites and broaden your background, provide training in individual, group, and couples and family counseling. You'll find the program is very applied. We will give you the knowledge and theory background, but we'll also spend a considerable amount of time in class working on developing skills, practicing those skills, and then also using some of those skills on yourself in terms of improving your development. We have training in terms of career counseling and assessment. We emphasize skills training for clients from diverse backgrounds. An important value in the program is that we really believe that when we do counseling, we have to tailor the treatment, our counseling techniques to this client from this background with this kind of history. And we really believe that that's very fundamental in terms of getting the best outcome. Our related value is we really believe in research and how research can inform which treatments we use. So we really emphasize best practices. What does the research say works the best? And we feel that's a very important ethical value, that we want to always provide the best treatments. So by the time you graduate from this program, you'll have a real firm grounding on what works for this client from this background. We have a nationally recognized faculty. Faculty have written numerous books, journal articles, served on national boards, licensing boards, been national trainers, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments of our faculty. The school counseling concentration prepares you to be a school counselor K through 12. And you know, the idea in our program is that we want our graduates to not only provide quality counseling to students in the school, but we also want our graduates to be leaders in the school, to lead in terms of promoting things like wellness, equity, fairness, social justice, lead in terms of addressing barriers to all students learning in the school and their personal development. We have a range of practicum and internship field sites, and we have made arrangements with various schools and have worked with the supervisors there. They're familiar with our program, know our program model, and have gone through supervision training. So students who come to the program don't have to look for their field sites. That will all be arranged for them. In terms of the clinical mental health counseling program, graduates would meet all the academic requirements to become a licensed professional counselor. In this program, you know, you'll see more specialized courses in areas like diagnosis and treatment planning. As we have in school counseling, we have a range of sites that we have relationships with, but these sites are going to be across the levels of care. We have outpatient sites. We have intensive outpatient sites where a person might go to receive counseling each day. Inpatient sites. We have sites that are more geared towards mental health and those that are geared more towards substance use, and some that have a concentration. So by the end of the program, at least the feedback that we get in terms of our assessments, students feel prepared to go out and do mental health counseling with a range of clients. These are some assistantships that we have been able to help students find in the past couple of years. So notice that we have worked with all kinds of units on campus. We are very successful in helping students get assistantships. Typically what occurs is we're able to get a proportion of students in assistantship in the very beginning of the program, But usually by the end of the first year in the program, most of the students who are looking for an assistantship, we've been able to help them find one. Now I'm going to turn it over to Kayla.
Okay.
And Kayla, I want you to talk a little bit about what attracted you to the program and what attracted you to mental health counseling and counseling in general. And then what has it been like to go through the program?
So again, my name is Kayla Clancy, originally from Chicago, Illinois. For me, for starters, I guess what attracted me initially was the student to faculty ratio. I always wanted to go to another school where it wasn't such a large class and I felt like I was just a number, or I'm just here to obtain a degree and my professors can care less one way or another. And so for me, that was a big factor. And also, who are my professors? Are they actually in the field? Are they actually doing the research? And how can I kind of learn from someone if they're not really actively doing the work then and even now? And so to come to this program with the professors that I do have, it was amazing to know that my professor is on the licensure board, and I aspire to be like them. So to learn from people who are actively still doing the work meant everything. And I appreciate the fact that I'm not shied away from any opportunities in the program, and I have faculty who care about not only my professional growth but my personal growth. And I found that that's an important emphasis being a counselor, like you're growing professionally and personally, because how can I help someone else if I don't even know who I am as an individual first? And so for me, the growth within the program, to see how I am now and how I was then, completely different person. I can say I'm actively progressing with the help of my professors. As far as practicum, of course, going into that experience was different. I was nervous. Of course, you're going into the field to actually help people now. But I was more so confident in myself because I knew I came from a solid foundation in my program. I had professors where if I felt stuck, I can go to any one of them and ask, hey, I'm kind of struggling with this client. Can I get some help with some insight that you have? And that was pretty steady throughout the semester. It's steady now. I can still reach out to my professors and pick out their brains kind of, well, for future references, like how do I deal with this issue if I ever come across it? And so they're always open to me, to anyone, pretty much. It's always an open door policy for the most part. And I genuinely love that about the program. I genuinely love that about the faculty. And even in my cohort, we're still a unit. So it's not just students lumped together and, oh, it's a dog eat dog, you all are just out there. We're all together in this. It's unity across the board. It's a family at the end of the day. And really, when one struggles, we all struggle. And I kind of appreciate that equity and that fairness within our program, especially with everything that goes on around us. Like I said, when one hurt, we're all hurting. And so I really appreciate that about my program. I appreciate the solid foundation. I appreciate how much the faculty and staff, they actually care genuinely about how you're doing. They check in on me all the time, and I genuinely love that. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Well, that's nice to hear, Kayla. And really that kind of family atmosphere is really what we strive for. So that was good to hear. Kayla, I know, you've done a lot of really great professional development activities. Could you say a little bit about some of the conference presentations you've done?
So at LCA, Louisiana Counseling Association, at their conference, a colleague and myself, we presented on kind of the training techniques and the training modules for correctional officers and juvenile detention centers, and kind of how they're trained on mental health de-escalation tactics with the youth. And that was a great experience, super cool. We got a lot of insight from, of course, the public and Dr. Gintner on kind of how to approach the situation and how to approach the research. So that was amazing. Briefly, also, I'm the treasurer for Chi Sigma Iota. So that's another kind of avenue that presents its own opportunities to present at different conferences or seminars to kind of speak to other graduate students as well. So lots of opportunities there.
Yeah, and could you say a little bit more about Chi Sigma Iota, the kind of things that group does?
Yes, so we do a lot of bonding activities within the program, of course, but we also host seminars. One of our first seminars, we had alumni come back and kind of talk about the steps to becoming licensed and kind of their steps to even opening up their own private practice. So we kind of opened that up for everybody, not just counselor education students, but psychology students who are still in undergrad, who are still kind of figuring out what they want to do next. We host a lot of social events for everyone to still come together, like I said, bonding, fundraisers, kind of fun stuff for the program, but also informative events for people outside the program as well to learn more about us and our profession, since that's one of our goals to kind of make counseling a more known profession for people and to change the stigma of what counseling actually is versus what people think it is.
Good, sounds good. And Kayla's just done a phenomenal job in the program and has really embraced, that philosophy I shared in the beginning about promoting kind of your knowledge and skills, your professional development and personal development.
Wow.
If you have any more questions on this slide right here, it has contact information. So if you have any questions about the school counseling program, you can contact Dr. Stephanie Eberts at that link. And if you have any questions about the clinical mental health counseling program, to contact Dr. Laura Choate. And that link at the top is our program website. And at the program website on the home page, you'll see descriptions of both of these concentrations. And on the right-hand side of that homepage, you'll see a number of links like frequently asked questions, how do you apply to the program? And we have, we only admit students for fall semester, and that application deadline is usually the middle of February, just to let you know that. And it has other kind of links that I think you'll find interesting to learn more about the program.
Now, Doc, let me ask you a question. As based on what we're dealing with this pandemic, are we doing anything about the deadline for next fall?
We're still making a decision about that because it's still a moving target at this point.
Okay. So Kayla, you are really, really moving and getting after it. You are, wow, what an example. So let me ask you two really quick questions as a student. So how was the funding part for you? Students always want to know, how am I going to pay for this stuff? How was that experience for you, getting funding and finding a place to live and really, ingratiating yourself to the campus and the community?
Great question. So I obtained my undergraduate degree at Southern University. So I was already in Baton Rouge. I was already familiar with the area. So for me, it wasn't extremely hard because I was already down there. I kind of knew where LSU was already, where to go, how to do things. But if I can speak from like previous experience prior to ever coming to Louisiana, it is a struggle. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It is a struggle a little bit. It's something to, in hindsight, kind of prepare for as much as possible. Kind of once you're in the program or this is where I want to be, to make those provisions already. Reach out to the professors. They are more than willing to help you. If you can reach out to current students, do that. We're all open to helping. Right now, I'm speaking to an incoming first year, helping her find a place to stay right now. So we're all pretty open.
Wow.
Yeah, we're extremely open, extremely helpful. I'm helping people find assistantships now as we speak as well. So it's more so like a connection base. So if you can speak to the department, if you can find current students on social media or however means to do so, please do that. But it's not an impossible task. It's not super hard. And it is an adjustment for sure, but it's not a horrible, scary, big adjustment. It's just a matter of staying on top of things.
Kayla, how was your conference experience? I know you talked about, going, but how was that experience for you? Was it something that you wanted to do on your own, or was it encouraged also? Was it kind of like a thing where you came together and it worked out for you?
So originally it wasn't my thing, it was my colleagues, but we're both interested in the field of corrections and we share that passion. So she kind of invited me to tag along. I said, of course, I would love to jump on that task with you. I loved it, of course, nervous. Any human would be nervous to go to a conference, and this is my first one that I'm ever speaking at. But I loved the experience. I would love to do it again. It was just overwhelmingly cool, and it opened my eyes like, wow, it's something that you can do in the future, and I want to do more in the future. I loved it. I loved it.
It's nothing like going to a conference and realizing, wow, I'm not the only person in the world who loves what I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
congratulations on doing that, and congratulations, Doc, on your program, pushing that, opportunity for her. Dr. Gintner, I'm gonna leave you alone with one more question, and this is the one I always hear this every time when I'm working with students and recruits. Okay, so how am I gonna get a job, Doc? Once I get done, is there graduate assistantship or graduate assistance to get employment? How does that go? And where else do you have people working right now?
Okay. Well, as part of our program evaluation, we always follow up with students, and we follow up not only kind of the year after they graduate, but 5 and 10 years later. And so we know a lot about what happens to our graduates. And what's interesting is in recent years, many of our graduates already had job offers before they even graduated.
Wow.
And part of that is that when you have those 3 different field experiences, you make contacts in the community and they know your work. They're familiar with your site. So you're a known, and in a sense, you're semi-trained. So a lot of our students are able to get jobs that way. And when that doesn't occur, because of all this networking that Kayla talked about, we have students throughout the community, and in a sense, our community counseling family also can be useful. But what we find is that when we follow up students at about 1 year after they graduate, within 3 months, about 95% of them will have gotten a full-time job.
Wow.
In the appropriate setting. The school people have found something in the school setting as a school counselor, in the clinical mental health, in some clinical mental health setting.
Now that's a placement rate. My goodness, that's amazing. That's amazing. Kayla, one more question and I'll leave you both alone. You both have been amazing. I guess the final question would be, what is one thing that you've done since you've been in Baton Rouge or been at LSU that you really enjoyed, just from a personal standpoint, that a student you would recommend a grad student do when they get there?
One thing that I've done, honestly, joining the Honor Society. It brought me closer to my cohort, of course, but it also brought me closer to the faculty because I have to interact with them all the time when we have events, or we're just having a meeting in the office and somebody's in their office. It brought me closer to my program. And that's something that I wouldn't trade. And I loved it. I still love it. And that's probably one of the greatest things being at LSU, being super close to my program through joining the Honor Society.
Wow, amazing. So Kayla, I'm gonna ask that you give us your email, if you don't mind. If a student wants to contact you, could you spell it out for us real quick?
Yes, so it's KClancy, KClancy3@lsu.edu.
Thank you very much. Doc, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Gintner. We appreciate you. What a wonderful program. I'm looking forward to meeting with some of your new students when they come in, and this is going to be amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Kayla, too.
Go Tigers.